Grew up in Chicago. It was on the south side of Chicago. It was a regular crowded neighborhood. Lots of kids. Basically, we were always outside. We played sports. We used to go skate in the wintertime and play hockey on the ice, and we just did the regular kid things. It was in the summertime that I enjoyed the most. We'd get out in the morning and we wouldn't come back till dark. You know, stop for a bite to eat and just go right back out and goof around. I was 18. And in January of '62. I always loved the water, so the Navy was the only one I wanted to be in, no matter what. My father and I never really got along, so that's kind of like a rough story there. He didn't really want me to go, but on the other hand, he never said goodbye to me either. So my mom, she was always my right-hand man. So, but my dad and I never did get along, so he kind of just shied away from everything. Once I said I joined the Navy, that was it. You know, there's a point in your life where you have to either go with the flow or fight it, and if you fight it, it's 10 times worse. So I always took everything in stride. You know, I was happy to be where I was at. I was kind of sad once I left home, and that first night was the worst. After that, I just snapped into it. And when we got our orders, they give you your orders the day you graduate from school. I looked at the orders and it said, USS Intrepid. And I asked the instructor, I says, what's the Intrepid? Oh, he says, that's an aircraft carrier. Oh, nobody really liked to go to the war. I mean, it was something you just did. It was part of your duty. You didn't have a choice. I mean, they tell you where you go, you go. When you're out at sea, it's like you're in a family there. You're in your own family. When I was in the service, it was like, it's hard to explain. It's like never stopping. Like I said, there's no days are the same as the day before. Everything is different. You're in a different spot. You're doing something different. It's a different scenery. There's always, it's never the same. Then my worst personal experience, I just come up from down below, and they were taking target practice. That they were the first. If they would have shot any other gun but that one, I would have been okay. But that was the first gun they shot, and it was like one big giant flame. Burnt my eyebrows, my eyelashes. The cigarette was black. I couldn't hear for a week. To this day, I still can't hear real good, and I've got ringing in the ears. My ears have never stopped ringing since that day. It's like birds chirping all the time. Oh, when we first went over there, we were in the Mekong Delta. We used to get so close to shore at night, though, that we would actually be in the mud of the river. And we only had 4 destroyers with us down there. We were the only carrier down there in our little group. And then from there, we went to, from the Mekong Delta, we went to the Gulf of Tonkin, which is a completely different. I never forget that. I got up early in the morning. It was about 5:36 in the morning. It was just getting light out, and I come up on deck, and I looked around, and I couldn't believe it. There was like everywhere you looked, there was a ship. It was like, was the biggest fleet I ever saw. It was really something. All of a sudden, it was like the whole sky lit up. They just dumped everything they had on them. I mean, we did a lot of bombing. That always got me, though. It used to really burn me up how they do that. It was a bad war, and all these wars are bad wars. But you see a different compassion for the military than you never saw that in Vietnam. I mean, you were treated like a piece of garbage. It was terrible. It's like they're falling all over these kids and they're coming back, and well, they should. But it's like a different world compared to how we were treated. I haven't been to Washington, D.C., but they had one in Michigan City, a replica of the War Memorial, the wall, and you see everybody that sees that must realize how many young guys died and women died over there for nothing. It's just a shame. That's the biggest thing in my life and my family. I mean, as if I wouldn't have met Kathy, I would have stayed, because I love that. I just love every day was different, and every day was different. You know, no routine like that. My wife, she's the real hero, but, well, my first daughter was born, and there was complications with my wife's. I flew back, and I went around the world, never headed east and never stopped. Because when I came back through the Philippines, Hawaii, and ended up flying to New Jersey. I started going east, and I never stopped going east until I hit New Jersey, and then I came back to Indiana. So I've got 3 daughters: Rochelle, Raylene, and Laura. We just had good vacations together. Just having them laugh. That was my main thing. And I think this is the greatest country in the world, and the people that are living here better step back and look at it and realize what we do have, because they don't have it overseas. Let me tell you, folks, anywhere I've been, I've never seen anything as great as this.